Two birds with one stone.
What are we gonna say? I was into incel tears before.
Incel tears.
Yeah. You want the clips?
Yeah. Just in case. So yeah, so apparently the incel tears and the brain cells.
That I hadn't heard of that one.
So the reason why you probably haven't, it's actually a ban, or it's a quarantined subreddit.
What does that mean though?
So that means to be able to see, you have to have like, you have to be a member of Reddit, and then you have to. Well, it seems like you found it okay, but I was under the impression you actually had to have like a direct link to it. Like you couldn't just like go on Reddit.
It said quarantined. I wasn't logged in or anything.
Gotcha. Were you able to still like see like the posts and everything? Oh, because I know previously whenever I tried to.
You have to be a member to post on it.
Maybe. Because I know, well, it wasn't always quarantine. I've been looking at it for a few months now, and
You're a moderator?
yeah, actually, Chad. Was it Chad Trump 2020? But yeah, because I remember when it first got quarantined, because right before it got quarantined is when I first started like viewing it, and then it got quarantined, and I thought it just got like banned from Reddit because I just couldn't see it. I was like, what the hell? Did they just like delete this whole subreddit? And then I discovered a few months later that I just kind of forgot about it. And then I remember someone like linking to it. And I was like, oh, I thought this was banned. And then it let me go on it. So I thought you had to have like a direct link to it. But I guess apparently not.
That one had a whole different feeling than incel tears did.
Yeah.
Had like a racist. I mean, maybe the other one was just not so overtly racist, but.
Which one? Wait, which one?
Brain cells.
Is more racist, you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, that
Gotcha.
was just like, I saw N-bomb and it wasn't just Chad they were talking about.
So the black version of Chad is called Tyrone, by the way.
Okay, yeah.
So there's Tyrone, there's Chad, who's the white version, obviously, and then there's like the Chinese version. Oh shit, what's the name of that?
That's new to me. I haven't seen.
Fuck. Man, look at that. I was like preparing for this podcast, like with all the terms. Yeah.
Within Reddit.
It's not Yang, because oh yeah, they're obsessed with Yang, by the way. Yeah, apparently they really like Yang.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not sure. It sort of makes sense why they like Yang, because they're saying that. So their whole like philosophy is that. So they call themselves like wage cucks. So they essentially do pointless jobs at like minimum wage, and then they pay for like women to get like abortions and stuff like that. That's kind of like their logic, you know. So I think they like Yang because he's gonna do like the Yang bucks, you know. So then they don't have to work anymore and pay
That's
for.
what they call it?
Yeah.
Yang bucks.
Yang bucks.
That's such a great name.
So that's, I think, their like philosophy behind it is that so when they get the Yang bucks, they don't have to wage cuck to fund women, essentially.
What is the deal, man? They purposefully take these low wage jobs, or they're like using that as an excuse.
They don't purposely. I think they're just kind of, well, some of them, I think they just don't have a choice. You know, maybe they don't have an education or something. I don't know. Honestly, it's.
But are they mad that they feel like they're paying for?
Yeah, well, I feel like they feel like they're in a weird situation where they're, you know, in like a dead end job, and then they can't get women. Obviously, that's the whole point, you know, being incel. So then they're just kind of in this misery loop, you know, where they just can't, you know, they can't even, you know, pay for what they want to do. And in their mind, you know, paying taxes, but they're still paying taxes, which, you know, funds things that they don't agree with, like, you know, abortion or, you know, like single mothers, stuff like that.
Gotcha.
So it kind of makes sense, but and then I think then by the Yang bucks will save them.
I mean, I'm excited for some Yang bucks.
I think everyone is.
Yeah.
Yang bucks.
I don't think, Ben, you don't know too much about Andrew Yang, do you?
Income equality or basic income or whatever.
Yeah. Have you heard of incels?
Are we?
Yeah. Say hello to the camera.
So our incel joined the chat, by the way.
Incel?
Yeah. Have you heard of
a lot
incels?
about there.
The involuntary celibate, the guys that can't.
Fuck to save their lives.
They have no luck.
I wasn't sure if y'all are gonna do it before or after, or y'all are just doing it during.
Oh yeah, that's the point.
Best way to do it.
Is the event.
But yeah, essentially we're talking about, so Yang Bucks is you get $1,000.
Isn't that the best name?
Yang 2020, right?
So we're saying how the incels like.
Bills.
So we're saying how the incels like Yang because essentially they do what's called wage cucking. So I'm introducing all these terms to you guys.
Okay.
So essentially what wage cucking is like working a dead-end job, making like no money, and then it's just like a misery cycle where they can't get paid, they work at a shitty job, and then but they still have to pay taxes, so they pay taxes to women that they hate anyway. So it's like single mothers and like abortions and all that.
It's a deadly cycle.
So they like Yang because then they say that they don't have to work anymore to support single moms and abortions and all that.
Or they can just pay their hookers better.
Yeah, or that. Yang hookers.
I need to get my education on some of these other candidates. Is there anybody else that has
What do you think of Tulsi?
Well, hold on.
I honestly don't know about any of
there
the candidates, to be honest.
Is there anybody else that wants to do this universal basic income or
Because I don't even think Bernie wants to do it.
this view on automation?
No, he's getting paid too much.
Bernie?
Yeah. What do you think of Tulsi?
Mr. Sanders.
I don't know. I don't really know any of the candidates at all.
She was pretty interesting on Joe Rogan. Pretty,
Yang was on Rogan too.
yeah,
I'll
I
check him
couldn't. I lasted like 10 minutes.
That's
he is,
one.
he's kind of boring.
Oh, I
I'd say.
love listening to it.
But he does bring up some really valid points of where like automation's going. I mean, it's going to happen,
Yeah.
and there's going to have to be a system for it.
Yeah.
If UBI is the best choice on that, I mean, I have no idea, but
Yeah, I need to listen to Gabbard. And
She's been on twice.
Yeah. Was there another candidate that's been on his podcast?
Fucking old boy from New Mexico, governor, ran for the last election. Didn't know what Aleppo was.
Oh yeah.
what was his name?
Gary Johnson.
Gary Johnson. Yeah.
Yeah, I've already forgot about it.
Is he gonna make another run this time around?
I haven't heard anything.
I seriously doubt it. I mean, he got. I don't know what portion of the vote that he got, but
I think he got like 3% maybe.
I thought it was in the closer to 10 to 15. But
Yeah, I don't think it was that high. I say like nationwide. What do you got?
yeah, I was thinking nationwide.
I want to say maybe it was 3.
Wasn't he the governor of?
New Mexico, I think, right?
I thought it was Arizona as well. Or no, he did.
Yeah, probably at the same time.
It was when they were combined, I think.
I feel like he did something in Arizona as well. He might have run a marathon or something.
Yeah, probably. I think he was a big marathon guy.
Did you guys hear about all this shit about Mount Everest here lately?
Mount Everest races too now.
Yeah. The mountain.
Well, it kills so many Asian people every year.
Well, speaking of, to get off topic real quick, so the mountain, from Game of Thrones,
Right.
like the Thor.
Yeah.
So they were saying there's a big controversy surrounding him now because he admitted to taking steroids. He's like, no shit, I take
What?
steroids.
You have to.
Yeah, he's
What?
like, I wouldn't make it to this level without steroids. I mean, no shit, I take it.
I thought he had Bell's palsy.
He does. But it's just like a temporary thing, and it's just in his face, so.
Yeah, they can go from like 2 weeks to.
Yeah, like lifetime almost. What were you gonna say about Everest now?
I heard I think in the month of May, 10 people have died.
Holy shit.
The lines, there's so many rich tourists to get up to the top that they're having waiting lines. So
Oh.
people are dying in
Wow.
I should do that.
I'm offended right now. That's I never thought about that.
Well, you know, they can't carry down dead bodies.
Yeah.
So like they almost use them as checkpoints.
Yeah.
Wait, people are dying in line?
Evidently, there's so many people that are trying to climb Everest right now.
Oh, at the same time?
Yeah, and there's like they get up to a certain point and they have to wait,
Oh,
and then their oxygen tanks are just depleted. And I saw
like-
Joe Rogan Instagram page that said 10 people have died in the.
I feel like going to Kings Island and dying.
So it's sort of like Black Friday, but like the reverse. Instead of
Right,
rushing
yeah.
to it, you just are kind of waiting and then die.
New study shows much people do not give a shit about rich people dying in line to Everest.
We're gonna get letter bombed by some of these incels. Or no, there was a subreddit called Incels. I don't know the exact history of all this stuff. I think Vice has done at least one piece on it. But I think that subreddit got banned, and then there's another one called Incel Tears, which is either incels themselves or I can't remember if it was a parody.
So incel tears. So I actually know sort of the history behind this. So brain cells.
And the newest one is Brain Cells.
Brain cells. So essentially, they say cells for everything. So if you're like smart, you're like a brain cell. If you go to the gym a lot, you're like a gym cell.
Right.
So on and so forth.
I didn't know that.
It took me forever to figure that out. Actually, took me longer than I. So I'm a low IQ cell, according to them.
Are the brain cells like the most red-pilled ones?
Yes.
The hardest red-pilled?
Where Incel Tears is making fun of them. So Incel Tears is like a parody subreddit that's making fun of them.
Gotcha.
Jesus Christ.
And Brain Cells actually does make a good point, though. They say, who's more of a loser, us or someone that actually spends time making fun of us? You know, like hours on end. You know.
I guess if you do that much time.
Not sliding in the mini DMs.
There's no sliding.
You just
crash. It's crash
Crank.
landing.
It took me forever to figure out what a DM even fucking was.
I can't imagine being one of these people that gets like a top. Is the author of a Reddit page that gets it all the way to the front page, because all they do is they just get like their mailbox just fills up with people bitching and moaning, and we're sending them sometimes like
do they get paid?
I think some of them do it for money.
Like
Some of them.
admins and get paid.
Oh, I don't know about that.
They don't throw ads up in it.
I think some people have been caught. Maybe call it shilling.
Yeah, Schilling.
Yeah.
Kurt Schilling.
Yeah. Where they spam advertisements, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the majority of Reddit admins don't get paid. Like they may get like gold, like Reddit Gold. I'm not entirely sure what is Reddit Gold.
I'm not sure either. I always assumed it was so long of a paid membership. But I'm not even sure what the benefit is of being a member.
Y'all aren't going live, are you?
We are.
Wow.
We've been live for a while now.
This is all
No, we're not live.
I don't know.
So yeah, we got the camera set up there, and we got a microphone right here.
What is this like? A
That's a